Yeah, we've heard that phrase storm surge a lot in the last 24 hours. Paul, what does that really mean and how quickly does it come?
It comes in very fast. It's literally the hurricane just grabbing the top layer of the ocean and pushing it on shore. So it's kind of an artificially high tide. The stronger the hurricane, the more water it's able to grab and actually push on shore. Let's take a look at what we're talking about here. And if the ocean level is usually farther down, as the hurricane makes landfall, it does grab the top layer and pushes it on with higher sea level and also with higher waves as well. I'll show you the wave heights in just a moment. But not only that, not only the wind, but it's also the air pressure in the hurricane. There are big areas of low pressure, so it's kind of like a vacuum, and underneath the center of that hurricane, it literally pulls up the ocean level underneath it. It's one of those really kind of freaky things about meteorology and some of the things the atmosphere is capable of. But that was a significant threat, and it continues to be a significant threat as Matthew continues to make its way up the coast. Here's where it is right now, just to the east of Jacksonville. The center of circulation still offshore. As I talked about earlier, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's good news that the worst of the very strongest winds have stayed offshore, but the winds onshore have been bad enough, and the fact that the center of circulation has stayed offshore means it hasn't weakened as fast as it's been making its way up the coast. And it's going to continue to hold on to its strength as it's making its way farther and farther up towards Georgia and South Carolina. Those wave heights right now, look at this. We're talking about 15 to 20, even close to 25-foot waves here in advance of Hurricane Matthew. And then things calm down a little bit as you get farther to the south of the hurricane itself. Where's it going to go? The latest information from the National Hurricane Center shows the path just skirting right along the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Then it kind of takes a right turn, heads out to sea, weakens to a tropical storm. This is the National Hurricane Center's official estimate. So they're buying into those computer models I showed you just a little bit earlier and actually bringing it back down towards the Bahamas as a weak tropical storm by the time we get into Tuesday afternoon or so. The water in that part of the world has been already worked over by Hurricane Matthew, so it really stirs up the ocean, which means that it's not going to be a favorable environment for the storm to re-strengthen into a major hurricane, but we're still going to keep an eye on this thing. It just kind of loiters out there. Why is it making this sudden weird turn? Part of it has to do with another tropical system, Nicole. It's farther to the east. They kind of dance around each other. Part of it has to do with the weather pattern that's going to influence us over the weekend. We're going to see an invasion of cool air happening tonight and tomorrow, and the system that drives that down towards us is going to help to guide Matthew off the east coast, and then kind of just give it a little spin that's going to send it back down to the south. In the meantime, it's still warm out there right now. Looking out over downtown Nashville, nothing but sunshine. Lots of it out there at the moment. It's going to be a warm evening for high school football, especially considering it's early October. Temperatures right now are in the mid to upper 80s. It's not going to be this warm as the games are kicking off this evening, but it's still going to be above average. 86 right now in Nashville, 88 degrees in Clarksville, Murfreesboro, 88 down the I-24 in Chattanooga, but off to our northwest down to 77 already in Murray and in Paris. The leading edge of that cooler air, it's going to be heading our way. By 10 o'clock this evening, temperatures are going to be down to just below 70 degrees, which is still mild, but it should be pleasant out there. And again, the humidity is not a problem. Should be good weather for those high school football games. Maybe a couple sprinkles as the cooler air moves in east of I-65 tomorrow morning, leaving the rain chances at less than 10%. So I don't think you need to worry about that. Just a few clouds passing through. Temperatures start off in the mid to upper 50s. They warm up to around 70 by noon, but it's going to be breezy. This is the one influence we are going to feel from Hurricane Matthews. It's going to squeeze the atmosphere enough over a very large territory. Its closest approach to us is going to be 500 miles away. That's still close enough to get those winds to kick up to about 15 to 20 miles an hour out of the north around here. But with sunshine tomorrow afternoon, we're still going to warm up to the mid-70s. It's right about where we're supposed to be for the second weekend in October, and that's where we're going to stay on Sunday as well. We'll just lose the breezy conditions. Warming back up as we head through next week. Looks pretty pleasant, but pleasantly warm, with temperatures climbing back up to the low to even mid-80s as we head through most of the week. And really not a drop of rain in sight for the next 7 days. A very dry forecast setting in for at least through mid-October.
Okay, looks good, Paul. Thank you.